Hi all, Greg the Grilling Guy, and today we're going to talk about brining. There's a couple different ways you can brine, and really you should brine most of your meats before you cook or grill them. It's going to give a tender, juicier flavor to the meat, and that the two methods we have are what are called wet brining or dry brining. Now, wet brining is typically what you would see with if you're doing a turkey breast before Thanksgiving or something, and that's brining it in a salt solution with a bunch of different flavors. For steaks, I like to keep it simple and do a dry brine. For dry brining, all you really need is some kosher salt and the piece of meat. Once you sprinkle the salt on the steak, it's going to draw the moisture out of the steak. It's going to mix with that moisture and then be reabsorbed into the meat. At that point, it's going to work to do a bit of a protein breakdown where it's actually going to, impact the muscle fibers within the steak. It's going to have them retain more moisture, and that's going to give a more flavorful, juicy steak for you. Dry brining is very simple. As I say, all you need is kosher salt. You're going to take that salt and you're going to sprinkle it onto the steak. I tend to try to do this up high so that I make sure I get maximum coverage onto the steak. We'll give that a flip, add a little bit more kosher salt onto there. Now, typically, I would have the sidewalls up on this so I'm not spilling salt everywhere, but for the sake of you folks at home, I've left the sidewalls down. Now that I have the salt onto the steak, all I'm going to do is take this. Now, I do have it sitting on that wire rack there, the cooking rack. And that's because when I put it in the fridge, I want the air to flow all around it. This is going to go into the fridge for probably, I like to do 4 hours. You can do as little as 1 hour, but I tend to find 4 hours to be the sweet spot. Some folks will say leave it overnight. I find it gets a little dry at that point. So I will take this, I will put it in the fridge, allowing the air to circulate around. That's going to allow the moisture to be reabsorbed into the steak. And in 4 hours, this thing will be ready to go on the grill. Very simple, really enhances the flavor of the steak. Highly recommended.